Hey guys, what's up? Back here today with a video for Campionato TV. Sorry I've been off for a little bit, but I was waiting for the UEFA European competitions to conclude before I came on, and so yeah, that's why I've been off. But I'm back, and I'm going to be talking about the Champions League results, the quarterfinal results, the Europa League, and the Conference League. And, we'll start it off with the Champions League. So we'll start off with Real Madrid and Chelsea. And, there was no surprise there. I thought, Real Madrid would go through. I don't really follow. I don't follow the Premier League, but I'll get pop-ups about things that happen in the Premier League, and it's just baffling to me. Chelsea, they spend so much money, and they're still ass. They're crap. They're terrible. I mean, if this is the kind of football you want to like or be associated with, then whatever. But these guys spend all this money. They get Koulibaly. They get this guy Enzo Fernandez from Benfica. They get Felix. I don't even know who else, but they spend so much money and they still suck. That's why I'm not a Premier League fan, because one, these teams over here, their solution to everything is to go spend all this money, and they still suck. I mean, if Serie A teams had, hundreds of millions of dollars to, spend on players, it wouldn't even be a competition. We have a limited budget, and we're still, doing good and, holding our own. And people will say, oh, yeah, Italian teams, they had a luck of a draw this year. That's nonsense. In past years, Liverpool and Manchester City, they've had these, ridiculous draws. And, they get all the way to the final. But that's okay. If you look at the results, from past Champions League, it's about 50-50 down the middle. But anyways, I don't want to go off on a tangent. Real Madrid won. And Chelsea's out. You'll listen to the media and they'll say, oh, Chelsea, they need to spend more money and this and that. Yeah, keep spending the money. What a club. So Real Madrid through. The other game on that side of the bracket was Manchester City versus Bayern Munich. I believe I thought Bayern Munich was gonna, go through. But now that I saw how that transpired and looking at the unraveling of Bayern Munich over the past couple weeks, I don't know if you could take that tie as a serious tie. Bayern Munich, when they had their old coach, I guess they were going downhill. That's why they sacked him, and they got Tuchel. But Bayern Munich just has not been playing good. They lost in their cup competition. They're out of that. They've been losing points domestically in the Bundesliga. And ever since Tuchel took over, I think he's done, 5 to 7 games, and he's lost maybe half of them. So there's definitely some kind of issue going on there in that organization over there. And they definitely are not as strong as they were when the season started. They've definitely unraveled. So I don't know how serious you could take that result against Manchester City. I just think Manchester City, now that I saw how that result transpired, that they got them at a good time. Unlike, when Inter and Barcelona played them at the beginning of the season in the Champions League, they seemed to be, kind of like on, a strong form. They beat Barcelona, they beat Inter, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. and it seems like the right teams are getting into form right now. So kudos to Manchester City. They're a strong team. They should be a strong team. I mean, they have probably spent the most money out of any team in the world. And give Guardiola all these players. They should be a strong team. So at least they're not pulling a Chelsea and spending all this money and they're total ass. But we have respect for City. We have respect for Italian teams. Got respect for Real Madrid. We don't fear anybody. We respect everybody, even though people disrespect us. But kudos to Manchester City. They've been on a good run of form. But I don't know how serious I could take that Bayern Munich result, because Bayern Munich has been spiraling down and been in a bad form. And before that, who did Manchester City play? RB Leipzig. And then in their group stage, let me see in their group stage. I don't have my notes over here, but I don't think they played anybody in the group stage either. So when you think about it, Manchester City, they've had an easy Champions League group. I really would like that information right now. Too bad I don't got it. But they had an easy Champions League group. They played RB Leipzig in the round of 16, who they tied at their place. And then, one could argue when they played RB Leipzig at home, there were some questionable calls that led to that rout. Once the floodgates open, it's tough. It's tough. Teams give up, and the other team smells the blood, and they go. They go to try to kill the game. And then the Bayern Munich, they've been on a bad form. So, I mean, what teams has this Manchester City played? Liverpool sucks this year. Tottenham sucks. Chelsea sucks. Arsenal, they're about to blow the league. So, I don't know that this Manchester City has been really battle tested. But we'll find out. They possibly could win the Champions League. I think they're, I think I would say that Real Madrid and Manchester City are probably the favorites, because historically they've gotten, they've been, up there, at this stage more recently. So kudos to Manchester City. Going on the other side of the bracket, we have Napoli versus Milan. Napoli, I would say, they haven't been in great form as of late. And, Milan just seems to be getting into form. And, there's no doubt about it. They played Napoli 3 times in a month, and they beat them all every time. They should have beat them 3 times. But if it wasn't for the Osimhen goal, Giroud, he also missed a PK in that game. So, Milan is the better team. I mean, I know that Napoli didn't have Osimhen and some of their key players. Maybe that would have made the difference. But, also in these competitions, you need the luck. And, Kim Min-jae and some other Napoli players couldn't play the second leg. And some players got injured. So, unfortunately, it was a little unlucky for Napoli, and Osimhen was injured, so they had a great run. It's sad to see it go, but AC Milan, they're also playing strong on defense. Their midfielders are playing very good, and they were able to keep Napoli from scoring nothing in 90, 80, 127 minutes, 90, 180, 270 minutes. Napoli only scored 1 goal. So, everybody's talking about Real Madrid and City with their attacking power. Well, I mean, Napoli has attacking power, and they only scored 1 goal in 270 minutes against AC Milan. So, congratulations to AC Milan. Inter, I felt they were, the more stronger team than Benfica. They went there. Bastoni, he had a great cross to Barella. I believe it was Barella. I forgot who it was, but he had a cross, and then the PK with Lukaku, and they won 2-0. Then went back to the San Siro, and they took their opportunities. I know the game ended 3-3, but I don't think anybody will doubt the Inter was the stronger of the teams. And Inter deserved to go through. And before the quarterfinal started, I said Inter could go through against this team, who, let me remind you, they were in a group with Juventus and PSG, and they came in first. But let me tell you something about this Inter team. That's a very strong team. Anybody disrespecting Inter doesn't know football. First of all, last year they made it to the knockout round, and they played Liverpool in the round of 16. And they lost 2-0, at San Siro. And then they went back to Liverpool, and Lautaro scored a goal in the second half. And they were primed to get the second goal. But the referee gave red card to Sanchez, and that killed the tie. And they ended up not, proceeding from there. But Liverpool proceeded. They ended up playing Benfica, and then they played Villarreal in the semifinal. But nobody says anything about their favorable draw and their route to the final. But Inter, they got to play Porto, who's a strong team. They also got to play Benfica, who is one of the favorites, and they say they got a favorable draw. Same thing with the AC Milan. They got a favorable draw. They play Tottenham, who beat Manchester City, and then they had to play Napoli, who people said was the best team in the world for many portions of the campaign this year. So how is that a favorable draw? Obviously I would have liked for Napoli and AC Milan to play different teams because, there's an element to when you play, a team from your same country. They know you so good, and it was very unfortunate for Napoli for many reasons because they had injuries, players got suspended, and plus they were playing Milan, who knows the team very good. So it was unlucky for Napoli. Milan went through, Inter Milan went through. I think that out of the whole Champions League this year, these are probably, now I would say it's very clear that these are the top teams in the Champions League. I would not disagree with these four at their current state. So we got a Milan derby, and we got the Bayern versus Manchester City. Those games are both like a flip of the coin. Real Madrid and Manchester City versus Milan and Inter. They're truly a flip of the coin. If I would have to, I know Real Madrid fans are going to be upset, but if I'd have to guess, I'd probably say Manchester City's going to get the better of them this time. And, I don't know who's going to win the Milan derby. It's very tough. Inter's strong. Milan's strong. I don't know. I really don't know. If I'd have to guess, maybe Inter. But Inter or Milan, let me tell you, I've been hearing a lot of news about how the final is going to be Real Madrid versus Manchester City in the semifinal. Whoever wins that's winning the cup. Yeah, I think you're sadly mistaken if you believe that. Inter and AC Milan, they're coming into form at the right time. Those are very dangerous teams. They have great goalies, and Mike Mignon and Arana, and their defense is rock solid. They got a good midfielders, and they got dangerous people that can score. The final is a one-off game. It's not a two-legged affair. So we'll see. last time Napoli won the Scudetto, AC Milan won the Champions League. So don't be so sure that whoever wins Real Madrid City is going to win the cup. So I'll leave it at that. Regarding the Europa League, Juventus progressed against Sporting. They'll play Sevilla, who knocked out Manchester, and Bayern Leverkusen will play Roma, who knocked out Feyenoord. So there's 2 Italian teams in the semifinal. And for the Conference League, Fiorentina, they made it to the semifinal. And I'll be honest with you, we're definitely going to have an Italian team in a Champions League final. Regarding the Europa League, Juventus, they do not want to lose the Europa League because they're not sure that they're going to win. They're going to get in the 4th place for Serie A. But here's the thing. If Roma and Juventus make it to the Europa League final, an Italian final, which is very possible, that's an extra Champions League spot for Italy. Because if an Italian team wins the Europa League, then the Italian team gets a 5th spot in a Champions League final, in the Champions League. So, and if an Italian team wins the Champions League final, it's another spot. So if Italian team wins the Champions League final, they automatically get 4 spots. So right now, I believe it's Napoli, Lazio, Juventus, and Roma. So if an Italian team wins the Champions League final, you will have another team, a 5th team. And if they win the Europa League final, then that's a 6th team. So Juventus, Lazio, Roma, Napoli, Inter, and AC Milan could all be in a Champions League next year if we win the Europa League and we win the Champions League. So all I gotta say is that's fire. I don't care what any of these Premier League people or Spanish people say. Italian League is very strong this year, and I'm not saying that Italian football is back, but we're on the right path. We're trying to get the Euro Cup, which I did some research on, and if we get the Euro Cup, they're going to be renovating. They're going to be, the stadiums they're talking about having are Juventus, Stadio Olimpico, which are modern UEFA stadiums. Fiorentina, they're gonna redo their stadium. Bologna, they're gonna have another stadium. Body's gonna have a stadium. So long story short, that if with this good push of Italian football in Europe and the push to get the Euro Cup, we're on the right track. We don't have as much money as the Premier League. The Serie A is spreading its footprint commercially throughout the world, in the United States and different parts of the world, and to get engage more people to the league. So with the success in the in UEFA and with the Serie A branching out and the possibility to get the Euro Cup, we're on the right track. New stadiums, more money, and we're definitely on the right track. So having said that, we got 5 Italian teams left in the semifinals of those 3 competitions, and we're looking to win them. So that's all I got. We'll be back. We're going to see how the first leg of those competitions go. And that's all I got. Don't forget to subscribe and like my video. And let's get my subscriptions up. Let's spread the video. We got to do this together. We got to do this together. Italian football fans, we got to work together. We got to spread it. We got to all work together to get back on top. All right? All right, we'll see you guys. Have a good day.